All right, everybody, welcome to Jukebox DC, and today we in the box with Lord Francis. How you doing today, Lord Francis?
Good, man. I'm good.
You are so fine. You cross my mind. You make me smile. I can't deny.
All right. So before we get to the summer, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself. You know, where you from? You know, what do you like to do outside of music? You know, just let us get a little bit about you.
Yeah. All right. I'm from Southeast. I'm born and raised in Southeast. Between like Anacostia and Nether Road kind of area. Went to an elementary school in Southeast that was near the Branch Avenue side. That's where I kind of learned how to draw. So I started out visual artist, sketching, cartoons and shit like that, doing a lot of stuff for like other students in my class. Ended up creating like the backdrop for the play, like the school's play at the end of the year. It's like a huge thing. And after that, went to art school. I went to Duke Ellington in Georgetown. That is where music started to pick up for me in a super serious way. Took that in college in Chicago. I did 2 years, came back. I've been here ever since. But some of my other hobbies, other than music, like I said, art is one of them. I recently just started getting into digital art because I'm a huge iPad user, and I got the pencil too. So I make all my cover arts. I design my own website. I write all the scripts to my music videos. I make logos for people. I do a lot of anything creative. I'm pretty sure I can do it. If I got anything to do with like some hands-on stuff or something like that. Other than that, I like working out. Shit, physical stuff is always cool. I think every man should do something physical weekly. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, those are pretty much the hobbies that I'm rocking right now.
So you said once you got to Duke Ellington, that's when you fell in love with music.
Yeah, that's when I started taking it like extremely serious. I started really recording. That's when I started recording music in high school. Because in elementary, I just had a bunch of like composition books. Just write fucking raps in, but I knew nobody who recorded, and I didn't even know the process of it. It was just like,
So music was always in you, basically.
yeah, for a long time. It came from my father. He used to dance shirtless in the living room, play a lot of like James Brown, Prince, Uji Banton. He even played like a bunch of military step music. I thought it was weird because he never went to the army. Shout out to my father.
Maybe he had a militant side to him.
Yeah, he
you know?
definitely did. I completely understood why he played the music. But yeah, that's where it all came from, really.
So do you get inspired by any of those early artists that you heard your dad playing first on, or do you create your own independent sound?
That's a fairly good question. I can't say I get inspiration from them. I do get an inspiration from those guys. Of course I do. I wouldn't necessarily say I implemented it in my music, because by the time I really started recording music, the stuff that people were listening to was far different from the James Brown and the Louis Vuittons and stuff like that. And sometimes I think about diving into that world and like maybe using some beats from that era, but then I get too scared because those dudes' voices is just, you can't, you just can't recreate shit like that. So,
I get what you're saying.
but my inspirations, if you're asking me what my inspirations as far as like my sound or something like that,
Or just more so like your creative process, because I think the way you create leads to your sound. At least I see that with some artists.
yeah,
It's more for like their atmosphere or what they might be going through at the moment. Like sometimes it's the approach.
yeah. I think extremely grateful for having the art background because it made not only the switch to music, but how I integrated my art with my music and made it so tight. I mean, like, this is why I sound the way I sound because, like, I was doing creative things that didn't have nothing to do with music. And then once I implemented those things with my music, it's kind of like how I created my sound. So, and I think my inspirations, they really started from all my teachers in Duke Ellington, which I have an extreme amount of respect for, because it kind of helped me crack my old shell, my like southeast shell, and then start to focus on who I wanted to become and how I wanted to make money and stuff. So, but the things that actually inspire, like what I write and the sounds, heavily come from what I'm going through in life. Like my observable reality is like probably the biggest, but then there's also women that influence a lot of my decisions in real life and in my music. My family for sure. I try not to listen to too many artists to get inspiration. I think it's a bad idea. You end up sounding like dudes, because there's a lot of dudes out here just kind of making songs that sound like other dudes. They're getting on like that too. Kudos to those guys, but that's not the kind of music that I'm trying to make. So I tend to get my inspiration from life.
Which is always organic, right? You got a bunch of little some things.
Right.
And I don't knock it, but
Right.
even 21 Savage even said it in the interview. Sometimes everybody has, some people need to understand to give it up, because some people might not know who they are, might not know, have a plan,
Yeah.
So, it sounds like you got a strong hold on that. So I think that makes the music pure, personally. So you started recording, like you said, in high school. Do you remember your first song?
Ooh, shit.
And did you let anybody listen to it? And I'm just saying first recorded song,
First recorded song ever, I was in a group with Bo Young Prince. Shout out to my dog.
Okay. Shout
And
out,
my brother Wayne. My God. It was a group called the Distronauts. Some
Okay.
silly shit. We was young. So bear with me on this. But the first song we recorded as a group, damn, what was the first song we recorded? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was Whips on Freeze. And we did not drive at all at the time. And no whips, no ice, none of that. But, it was like our first time doing the rap thing, trying to be like everybody else.
And we definitely went to our bling bling and our
Man, it was all in there. I don't even know if that's still online. It probably is, because some of our fans of that group in particular still be posting some of this shit online. I got it. So.
Well, at least sounds like it's good, because it lasted the test of time.
Right.
So,
Some of them
people
was
still
alright,
posted
man.
it. That means it had it, but you know, they say music is a moment, you know,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
which is why it's a good thing you're inspired through life, you know, because then that means that you always conscious based.
Yeah.
I would like to assume.
Yeah.
So you know, you're rapping, you know, you're part of your group, you're in high school, you go to Chicago. So how is that transitioning? You know, like
Yeah, that's when the group thing split off. Bo became Young Prince. At the time, I became Frankie Murdoch, which is another discussion. That was my rap name before Lord Francis.
okay.
I had to bury that guy in college and then go with Lord Francis. But yeah, so that's when I started, you know, my single campaign basically. And when I got to Chicago, I couldn't have been hungrier to explore that city as far as the music, because I know Chicago is a music city. Music is very important there. So I would say the scene is way more prevalent there than here. And you know, Chicago is just one of those cities. And I thrived there, man. Like one thing that I realized about going to college outside the DMV was that people was gonna see me as different, and I was gonna have an opportunity to either win off that or lose. And because I get the bitches, I won. You know what I'm saying?
And college definitely brings that.
Yeah.
Long day, come home, roll one, fill my cup. Late drive, night ride, I feel way too stuck. Call one, anyone, any shorty, come on, pick it up. Live a little, send a little, been a little shorty, give it past the keys. I'm gon' drive the V's, you gon' hit the streets. You gon' slide with me, you got time for me. Girl, that's fine with me. Sip this wine with me, do these lines with me.
To those who are questioning going to college, I strongly suggest at least experiencing it, because it just gives you a different perspective to life. But
Definitely, man. So college, yeah, it was like a vessel for me to see if I really was going to take music serious. And my freshman year was insane. I did like so many shows, and I was doing so much in the music scene in Chicago that by the end of my second year of college, I was like, shit, I'm out of here. And that's when I strictly focused on music. And it's been music ever since.
okay. Now you mentioned, you know, when you first started rapping, you were Frankie Murdoch, and you said that you had to bury that guy. So it sounds more so like you had a love-hate relationship with Frankie Murdoch.
Yeah.
And in order to become Lord Francis, you had to kind of like go through a transition.
Exactly.
Do you mind speaking at that moment in your life, maybe like what led to that transition?
Yeah.
And I would like to think it was a good transition because you came from it a Lord, you know, and
Yeah.
if anything knows about how you become a Lord, you know, it's gifted through you, you know, either through birthright or you easily earn it. And back in the days, it was even through war. You know, men back in those days would go to war and come back and get land and lordship and that type of stuff. So
you knew it wasn't the religious thing. We knew that. But yeah, that's a good question. I think that under the Frankie Murdoch name, I did a lot of great things, and I was extremely hungry, and I made a lot of mistakes as well. But I think maybe that's just some weird pressure I might put on myself or something like that. But I think cons kind of outweighed the pros for me with that name. And by the time I left Chicago and like college fully, and my lease was up at the loft I was staying in, and I was coming back here for sure. On the plane ride back, I was writing in my phone, in the notes app, just bunch of different fucking new names. And I ended up, Francis is my grandfather's name. My daddy's daddy. And he is definitely the realest nigga I've ever met. And I would also say that I think every man's granddaddy should be a super real nigga. Especially like, you know, I think he was born in 1930 something like that. And he died 2 years ago.
Oh,
And he's like,
my condolences.
nah, yeah, man, he died of old age, so he had a good life.
Long life.
Yeah, long life. And he kind of encompasses like my family name and what all the males in my family are supposed to like. It's sort of like it is a bar that we all have to reach. Because he was just that great of a man. So I thought if I was going to choose any name, it was either going to be my real name or my grandfather's name. And of course I put the Lord in front of it because that's just how I felt about him. So honestly, my name is how I feel about my grandfather.
Reflection.
Yeah, and an extreme reflection. I look like him in a lot of his pictures when he was in his 20s and stuff. And him and my father and me are kind of like, we all look alike. So it's a weird kind of thing, but it's cool.
Okay, so now you became Lord Francis.
Yep.
You know, you made that decision.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're back home. You're in DC.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're leading up to this summer.
This
You know,
summer. Mm-hmm.
It's the whole Tuesday campaign. Tell
Yes.
me about that.
Okay, so yeah, I created this Tuesday campaign because I was trying to find a way to systematically become more what's the word? Consistent, right? Because sort of a perfectionist, and it can take me quite a long time to drop some stuff depending on how I feel about it or the season, or if it, you know, I can make 100 excuses for why something shouldn't come out. So Tuesday became a sort of promise to myself to actually deliver, put all the music out. And I love it actually because it's just sort of like a metric I've created for myself to stand on, putting this shit out. Because some of this music that I'm going to be putting out, I've been sitting on for fucking years, which is super unfair, you know? And I don't think I'll ever be able to determine which one of my records is going to be the hit record. And the only way I found that out was to put all these motherfuckers out. So, yeah, I created Tuesday to give people like a really cool, rapid pace kind of insight on all the music I've been making for the last like 3 years.
So basically like a cliff notes to your catalog.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned that you're a perfectionist.
Mm-hmm.
Does that affect your creation process? I recently saw an interview with Lil Wayne on this podcast called I Am Athlete, and he was speaking on that he could sometimes spend a week on just a bar or maybe 2 lines. With you being a perfectionist, are you that
No.
intricate with your creating process?
Nah, what it is that would be interesting if I took the time to maybe take a week to create a bar. But I think I would myself, I'm too impatient for that. What I would say I'm a perfectionist is making sure, because I do a lot of stuff in the studio, post-wise. So like, especially when I do some of my like R&B, more melodic songs, I'll spend a lot of time in the studio and we'll just be editing certain parts of my voice, putting certain filters on, taking certain stuff off, moving lyrics around maybe, like, cause sometimes I'll spit a whole bunch of bars and maybe I want to hear another set of bars that's more in the back of where I spit it, closer to the front. We'll just take those bars out and put them wherever I want. You know, I can rearrange. I do a lot of that sort of stuff. So that's kind of what I mean with perfectionist. That, and when I start to think about the seasons, like if it's hot, I really want some banging shit. And then when it starts to be chilly, I really want to start putting that R&B kind of melodic stuff out. So seasons always play a role too. That's kind of like my level of perfection, you know, because I think there is a time in which you drop that will give it a way better chance of success than say another time. So, and I spend a lot of time thinking about shit like that.
Yeah, and a lot of people do that. Like release dates do, you know, make a difference. You know, you have summer songs, winter songs.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that shows your versatility with music, and it shows that you diverse. What should we be expecting with these Tuesdays? Is it like single song releases? Is it videos?
So Tuesday is predicated strictly on singles, but I just upped the ante. So I dropped my first 15 singles in these last 3 months or something like that. 3 or 4 months. I dropped 15 songs. So to up the ante, I went back and recorded 11 music videos to those 15. Now, I wanted to get all 15. But one of the songs was predicated to DC and I just would not shoot it in LA. And another video, the other videos I just didn't have time to do because I only had 4 days. Either way, so the Tuesday thing, it's all singles, right? But what I'm doing starting Tuesday, the 21st of this month, is I'm redropping all of these records as videos. So, and I'm doing this over like a 2-week period. So this Tuesday coming up, you'll get the first music video. We'll sit on that for 2 weeks, promo the hell out of it. I mean, you really only do get 2 or 3 weeks after you put something out for, unless you start pumping money into it, which that's another plan too. And then a week will pass, and then the Tuesday after that, I'll drop the next video, and I plan on doing this shit all summer. So, and I'm not even sure that by the time the summer's over, I might still have a video or two, depending on, you know, how this works. I will be looking at my calendar to make sure I know how this works too. I need to know. But yeah, that's basically, and the point to it is consistency, but also extremely good stuff, because the guys that I work with on the music videos, they actually work on the Housewives show, and they do all of those. They did one of them worked for Nat Geo.
So they're actual real producers,
real
directors, and cameramen.
So these videos are like really top quality. I got some really good guys to shoot it. So I'm extremely excited because you get quality and quantity, which is not easy.
And everybody loves both.
All right.
So next Tuesday, how can I go find this video, this song? Is there going to be a specific time that you're dropping it? So when should?
That's a good question. Yes. 12 o'clock is probably when I'm going to drop it.
Midnight or noon, just for some folks out there.
Midnight. I always do it at midnight.
And that's Eastern Standard Time for for our listeners in Cali.
Because the way I really do it, here's a secret, is I'll drop the record at midnight and then I'll sleep on it and then promote it the next morning. So, it'll be live before I say anything. People, they won't know unless I say something. But where to find it, I have a website, lordfrancis.com. That's, if you want to see anything I have, because I have tons of music videos, tons of songs, and all of my projects are also on my website. So Lord Francis for that. But my socials, my handles for my socials is lordfrancis.m. That's on IG, and on TikTok I believe is lordfrancis22. And I'm gonna be dropping. It'll go on my Thriller. I'm probably gonna put it on Snapchat as well. I'm gonna put it on every social media platform that I own.
Okay, Lord Francis, it definitely sounds exciting. And I know me personally, I'm definitely looking forward, to hearing the music and seeing this project. And you guys need to make sure that you guys definitely check it out. Starting next Tuesday, I believe that's June 21st. Yeah, June 21st. Make sure you guys check it out at, what's the website again?
LordFrancis.com. It's my rap name.
And, I definitely appreciate you stopping by. And, before you go, though.
Yep.
Top 5 artists right now.
That I'm listening to?
Yes. Get in your car right now. Turn the music on. What's the 5 main guys getting played right now? And I already know you don't like to listen to people, but we all break away. Music is therapeutic. So.
All right. Well, what I'm listening to right now, especially like in the whip and stuff like that, Future is in there. His new album, I think, is really good. Kendrick. I ain't gonna. Kendrick. J. Cole. Throw Drake in there. And somebody else I was listening to. You know who I'm listening to right now? Vori. I don't know if you heard Vori, R&B dude. I forget where he's from, but he got picked up by me. He signed to Dream Chasers, and his new album is pretty fucking good. So I've been listening to Vori. Okay. Yeah. These guys got some things going on, and I like to watch. If I'm gonna watch, I'm gonna watch the best, man. I'm gonna look up. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And much further to go if you're at the grind, so you should only be looking up. But, thank you guys for checking in with Jukebox DC, and that's another interview in the box with Lord Francis.
Late night calling, you street ballin'.